next up we have McLaren Minerals, ASX code MML. So an Australian mineral sands developer developing its flagship titanium project in WA's Eucla Basin. Representing the company today is Gavin Ball. Gavin, thanks for joining me.
Well, I got a phone call from Simon on Friday who had a unfortunate accident mowing the lawn. So he asked me to fill in for him. He passes on his apologies for not being here today. Unfortunately, I don't have Simon's knowledge. I don't have his technical depths. I'm not a management in the company. I'm not a director. And I'm not really officially speaking for the company. But I am a shareholder of the company and I have a big interest in this company being successful. So I'm glad to be here speaking to you today. I'm just going to share with you why I am in this company, why I think the market's sort of seriously undervalued it at the moment in terms of the project which it's currently got. And the first point I'm making is that the company is actually making some real progress. It's not sitting around, it's not talking about what it wants to do, it's actually getting into this project. And since acquiring the McLaren project, they've moved very quickly and deliberately tackled all the early key risks. So they've proven up the metallurgy, they've looked at the slimes handling and the co-disposal strategy, they've gone and found the on-site water, and they've started working through the logistics with the Esperance port and the handling and facilities. So they've really tackled the issues that can complicate or delay projects, obviously. So they've jumped on those up front. And they've also confirmed that the resource, the project, is a low-risk development. So it can use traditional, very conventional mineral sands processing, which is very simplistic, and they can use bulk mining methods. So it's really just something you want to see, nice and easy. All that work's really led to their first milestone, and recently they delivered their pre-feasibility study, confirming this project, the McLaren project, as a long life and a globally competitive titanium project. The second point is that the resource upgrade is large, is massive. One of the first things they did was early drilling and technical work, and that's turned into a major upgrade in the resource. It's gone from 280 million to 529 million tonnes at 4.5% heavy minerals, and included in that is 250 million tonnes in the indicated category. So that's about 7 million tonnes of contained ilmenite. It isn't small, it's a serious global asset. And in dollar terms, the PFS shows around $2.6 billion in life of mine revenue. And that's the third point. The third point is that the mine life in the PFS is clearly understated. The PFS looks at a mine plan with 185 million tonnes, but the total resource is over 500 million. In other words, the PFS is built on about a third of what's been identified. The base case, the 185 million, shows 16-year mine life, but if you do the math, the resource has the potential to move closer to 45 years. In reality, it either turns into a multi-decade project or it grows bigger in stages. You start with this one operation, you get the cash flowing, expand as the resource or the market or the customers justify it. And that's the upside potential that we find compelling in this. The scale suggests the opportunity ahead. But really, it's about converting more of this resource into a higher confidence category so that we can expand this mine plan over time. My fourth point is that the deposit is actually still growing. The deposit is open to the north and the south. It looks like there's expansion potential in the east, and they're looking at a possible second shoreline on the actual resource. They've identified within the resource high-grade lenses that originally were never understood, so they too can add a lot more value. What stands out since acquisition was that it's only had 4,000 metres drilled, which for a deposit of this size is really not very much. The resource is already, in Simon Finnis's words, a beast and a monster. So They're ramping this up with major drilling programs starting next month in March as part of the bankable feasibility study. The base case economics, however, the fifth point I raise is the base case on the PFS is still very strong. We're talking about, I mentioned before, 2.6 billion in total revenue, 900 million in EBITDA, and a payback of under 4 years, so 3.7 years. An NPV of 250 million with a 26% IRR. If production increases or the mine plan changes and expands, those numbers obviously will grow significantly. And that's the exciting part, is that the upside the base case looks good, but the upside potential also is there, looks real. The sixth point, and to me probably the most important point, is the management team in this project is the real differentiator, the people that are running and operating this project. I mean, in small caps, there's a lot of great projects out there, but delivery of those projects is rare. In our case, a mining project's just sand until the right team makes it into a mine, or more importantly, the right team actually makes it into a business. So the real question is about McLaren team, can they build it? And I think this is where McLaren really stands out. It's got a team with real experience. These people have built mineral sands projects, in fact, some of the biggest in the world, a number of times before. They're not here learning on the job. It gives me confidence as a shareholder that they've already put together a team that has this experience in operating these exact mines, and they're certainly not stopping there. Already they're recruiting and adding the capabilities to build the BFS and move that through into financing, construction, and ultimately operations. And I guess that's what we all want to see. Often the best predictor of future performance is past performance, and in my view, this is a company that has an amazing board and operators that have done this before, and it now looks like they've just found the right project to try and do it again. So what's next? So Simon's asked me to give you a sense of what's happening next. The next phase is their project's moving to the bankable feasibility study. It's taking, it's now doing the things required for the study to build the project. As I said, it's starting in March. They're going to upgrade the resource, so a big drilling program happening. They're tightening the mine plan based on that to support the BFS. They're progressing the environmental studies required for the approvals. Obviously, the metallurgical work's been done and the engineering that's needed to bring it to a bankable standard. I guess the biggest value uplift potential is going to be the marketing and offtake. And once we can show the market, the customer demand, secure the offtake, the project then becomes more financeable. So encouragingly, the product, the metallurgy indicates that the product that the McLaren project's expected to produce really lines up well with where the market is heading. It's especially seeing a big demand for growth in the sulfide ilmenite feedstock because of the number of new smelters that are coming online throughout the world, including a number in the Middle East. In my view, I think if we can prove, or if Simon and his team can prove that commercial pathway, that's when the next big re-rating potential lies. Okay, I'll finish where I started. I'm here as a shareholder. I see a company with real scale potential, genuine scale potential. I see a project that's taking shape and a team that's done it before and can do it again. I think the base numbers stand up already, but I think the upside, and if you have a look at that, I think the upside potential is real. The mine plan's only capturing a small part of the resource. When the deposit is more confidence, when more drilling is done, it'll set a clear pathway for growth, longer mine life, or higher production rates, or even or probably stage expansion. So I don't understand why the market hasn't priced this in. I urge you to do some peer review to see where McLaren sits compared to the others. But in my view, I think it's what creates market opportunity, the fact that it's not priced in, and it's why I believe McLaren's a very compelling development story right now. Appreciate your time, and I look forward to what's ahead at McLaren. Thanks very much.